Are you in a good spot, or should you move up here? Oh. Well, that's not in a good spot either. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Chat About Knitting. This is podcast number 2. First of all, I would just like to say a heartfelt thank you so much for the incredible response that I received after my first podcast went up 2 weeks ago. I am absolutely gobsmacked at the support that I've received, the messages I've received, the comments I've received, and I'm so excited to share this part of my life with you. I'm trying to find a good place where I can podcast, good lighting. Right now I'm up in my attic because everyone is home, and so there isn't, I don't really have a spot yet, but we'll get there. And so right now we're up in my attic. I have a little bit of new lighting, so I'm practicing with that, and we'll just see how it goes, you know, for these next couple times. I have a lot to go through. We have some summer knits to go through. Let's talk about my favorite knits for summer. I'm going to show you what I'm working on, the purchases that I've made this week, and we'll talk later about maybe a giveaway. That would be exciting, right? So please, 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 if I could be so humble to ask you to hit the subscribe button, and if you would like to get notifications on when I'm going to go and do the podcast again, please hit the little bell that's next to the subscribe. Currently, the last time I checked, I was at 967 subscribers. I need to get to 1,000 in order to be able to podcast where I'm live podcasting. I would really like to do a combination of both the filmed podcast where I can add things in and do some editing, but then I would also like to come on live once or twice a month and just chat with you and see if you have any questions and do that. So if you would like, please do hit that subscribe button. It really does help me along in this new journey of mine, which I'm very excited about. So, little bit of update. My 17-year-old daughter had spinal fusion surgery on June 24th. She had advanced scoliosis that we have been watching for years and years. And yes, she's my only daughter, so I have 2 older sons, but she's the one that on my Instagram, if you see her riding, and that is her, my little Marin. So she underwent surgery a week ago today, and we got home from the hospital on Monday afternoon, and she is coming along. So for those of you that sent messages and of well wishes and prayers, certainly appreciate them. I've read everyone to her, and she is coming along. So thank you for that. But during that time, I wasn't quite able to, you know, do what I wanted to do. I was doing some knitting, but what I ended up doing was a lot of purchasing. So I now know how all of you felt during COVID and why where I worked was so busy. So I'm going to show you what I've purchased this week, which I'm hoping doesn't become a weekly thing because I really went nuts. So the first thing I saw was Amy of Polka Dot Sheep. I absolutely love her yarn, and she has these one-of-a-kinds that she posts where it's not her normal dyeing. So she posted, oh look, there's a cute little sticker that I can put on my iPad. So she posted this color. I think, well, oh my God, I'm kind of wearing it. Isn't that what happens all the time? You always buy things that you're wearing. When you go to shop, you buy the color that you're wearing. So this is a one-of-a-kind color. This is in her Stumptown DK, and I just thought this would make a spectacular sweater. So it was a sweater quantity. They are discounted, so I hopped right on, and that is Polka Dot Sheep. I will put a link to her website. Actually, I'm not sure if it's a website or if it's her Instagram. I follow her on Instagram, so go ahead and follow Polka Dot Sheep. She has a wonderful customer service and wonderful, wonderful yarn. Isn't this a great color? I can just imagine this becoming something that would be spectacular in the fall and the winter. I have really cute shoes to go with this too. Do you guys do that? Do you think about what shoes would go with your yarn? I do. I kind of have an issue with that. So that was my first purchase. Made me feel good, a little bit of retail therapy. And then, because I guess, I don't know, I'm on her radar, this actually came up. Another one of a kind. This is in her fingering weight. Let me double check. And this is 4 skeins of actually it's sport weight. And I was just accepted into a test knit, a very super secret test knit. I think I'm gonna use this. That would be really cute. Ooh. And I have enough. I actually have more than enough. Maybe I only, all right. So here it was my second purchase. Again, Polka Dot Sheep. This is the one-of-a-kind colorway. I just love all these blues and greens, and there's speckles in here, and so, so good. All right, that was the second purchase. And then the last purchase I made was when I'm splitting for the sleeves in a top-down sweater, I usually use a piece of leftover yarn, and I will take that yarn, thread it on a darning needle, and then take off the stitches when I'm knitting top down. These things, I actually sent away to Finland for these, and I will put the website in the description box below. But actually, Pearl, the yarn bus, she has these now. I saw that she has those. So I will also put, I think it's the Traveling Yarn Yogi on Instagram. But I'll put all that information down there. And she is based out of Georgia, so you wouldn't have to pay international shipping. But they're from the Knitting Barber, and they are called TKB cords. So you get this really cool thing here, and here are the cords. The cool thing about these, there's 2 different lengths, right? So this would be like if you were doing the body, and then these obviously would be for the sleeves. What you do is there's a little hole at the end here. So when you're knitting, you're gonna stick this on the edge of the end of your needle and simply slide your stitches on. And then it hangs low. You could tie a little, a little knot to secure it if you'd like. And then it's just, it's brilliant. It is brilliant. So, so I actually got these in white. I got another one. Because if I was gonna pay the shipping, and I ordered these on Sunday, and they were at my house on Tuesday from Finland. I thought that was incredible. And then I also got them in this red color. Isn't that so cool? So I am not usually a gadget girl when it comes to knitting, but I don't care for stitch markers because I think it messes up my stitching. I usually use leftover yarn, but boy, I thought these were really, really cool. So this is, I don't know how to say it. My boys kind of had a lot of fun saying this at the dinner table the other night, but it's in Finland. So those were my purchases for this week. So then my work in progress is, well, I have a finished object. How about it? It's the Flores sweater, Flores, and I talked about it in episode 1, in podcast 1. So I finished this. This is a fingering weight. I made it in merino linen, in Moondrake, in her merino linen. I love this sweater. It's actually still a wee bit damp. I blocked it yesterday, but so much knitting in this. And this is actually, I was about right here, and I actually finished it when I was in the hospital with Marin. So it was a great, great pattern to knit. Lots and lots of knitting. Look at how cool this ribbing detail is. I loved it. And I'm looking forward to wearing it. I have a feeling I'm going to wear it a lot. I knit it, I'm pretty sure I knit it exactly to what the pattern is. I did not lengthen it. Maybe I lengthened, I did the sleeves exact. I may have done an extra inch on the body. I will upload all of my changes like I always do on my Ravelry account, and my name is Fiber Lover on Ravelry. Isn't she pretty? I really, really love it. I absolutely love it. The yarn is so soft and drapey that I definitely could see myself wearing this with jean shorts and some sandals, you know? I think that would be really pretty. I love that. So this is my only finished object of the week. I thought that I would get a lot more done, but I did not with the current state of affairs that are going on at the McAlindin house. The other thing, just gonna put these down. The other thing that I was going to do was my Sherwood sweater is in testing right now, and I'm so appreciative and thankful for all of my testers. And it has color work on it. It has color work on the bottom and a little bit on the bracelet length sleeves, or 3/4 sleeves. And so what I wanted to do was knit another one in another color. If you saw on my Instagram, I posted a picture of this yarn. This is also Moondrake, and this is her Soft Decay. It is incredibly soft. So this is what it looks like in the hank. This color is called Birthday Cake. Isn't that pretty? So you can see it just says Birthday Cake. And this is what it looks like wound up. So I did actually wind it up, and for the next podcast I'll definitely have this one done. And the reason why I wanted to do that is not everybody wants to do color work, and so the silhouette of the sweater is one of my favorites. It's a V-neck. It's set-in modified drop shoulder. Drop shoulders are everywhere this season, but it's a modified drop shoulder, so you don't have as much fabric under here, and it's a simple silhouette that goes with a lot of things. You can dress it up, you can dress it down, and it is actually a bottom-up pattern. So for those of you that aren't used to bottom-up knitting, here's a great staple in your wardrobe that will show you how to do the bottom-up construction. Just a little different, you know, spice it up a little bit, change things up around. So that will be this week. I'll be working on this. I also have a quick test knit that's going to happen that's super, super secret, and I won't be able to discuss anything about that, but it is in sport, and I thought this was fingering, and now that it's sport, I might use this. And it has 2 coordinating colors, not this yarn, but the pattern, and I'm thinking that I have some stuff that would go with this. I'll have to deep dive into my stash, which would be so much fun. Fresca break. Okay. My current work in progress that I started was my Knit a Rainbow, and this is, I just started it last night, so I didn't really get much done, but look at this beautiful yarn from Cake Wool. This is called Dough, and it is merino, cashmere, and nylon. This color is called Plumage. Isn't it gorgeous? And it is so super soft. I will obviously link everything in the description box. But what I wanted to talk about with hand-painted yarns or small batch dyers, because there are a lot of indie dyers, and I love to give them support, and I get a lot of questions when I'm knitting sweaters. Do I helix knit? Do I, alternate skeins? How do I do that? And what I normally do is wind almost all of the yarn that I'm going to use. So here's the current one that I'm working on, and here are 3 other skeins that I've wound. I thought I would work in this in the hospital, but that didn't work out. So what I do is when I wind them, because they do look different wound than when they're in the skein, is I look to see if there are cakes that are darker, lighter, which ones match, which ones look the same. And then I will, let's say there's lighter skeins to darker skeins. A lot of times I'll start with the lighter skeins up by the neck and work and use the darker skeins toward the bottom. Another thing, sometimes I've had, I usually have to get by 5 skeins for a sweater, a full-size sweater for me. And I will, if there's 2 skeins that are like lighter, I'll use those for the sleeves. And so I kind of look at them and see how they want to be knit. Don't be afraid, don't drop them. Don't be afraid to look at your skeins and see which ones you want closer. Another cool idea would be to do dark at the top, and then if it's lighter, and then dark on the bottom, so that, there's a little bit of thought when you're doing them. I happen to know that Cake Wool, when she dyes her skeins, they are very, very similar. So I have knit with her things before. My original Knit a Rainbow was done in Cake Wool. And so I actually looked at them, and they looked so similar that I thought, I'm just gonna knit. So I started last night. Another thing I did, and I like to tell this to a lot of people, that patterns are like recipes. So once you get going, you know what looks good on you. And so this pattern has just 4 rows for the band, and I wanted it a little bit bigger. So instead of doing 4, I think I did 6 or 8. 2, 4, I did 6. So I just added 2 extra rows because I really like the way this looks. I'm also going to make this one a short sleeve, or maybe a 3/4 sleeve. And I want, because it's such a pretty light color, I want to wear this all seasons, really. Actually, not right now. Oh, look, I dropped a stitch. When you drop a stitch, do you guys freak out? I kind of just say, oh, it's not really going to go that far. And you just pick it up. Just find it and pick it up. So let me just pick this up. Thank you for waiting, friends. Okay. There we go. So here we have it. And like you can see, these are random pieces of yarn that I tie together into a little marker. Because if you're finding that your knitting has a row of ladders where they're not tightly knit next to each other, watch your stitch markers. It might be too thick. So either, if you love your stitch markers like some people do, give that yarn a little extra tug. After you slip your stitch marker and then knit your next stitch, give that yarn a little extra tug. What's happening is the stitch marker is causing you to use a little bit more yarn than the other stitches, and that's how you get those ladders. So, current whip, FO. And now let's talk about summer knitting. So currently I'm in my attic. It is about 98 degrees up here. It's pretty warm. And so I I'm wearing wool. I'm actually wearing a wool sweater, and I'm not any hotter than I would be if I was wearing a cotton top. Wool is breathable. You can use, it's just, I love wearing it. But what sweaters are my favorites to knit and actually to wear in the summertime? So last year I designed this. It's called the Lovely Tee. It has these cute little puff sleeves, a really pretty detail on the neck, the sleeve, and I absolutely love this sweater. This is knit in Nature's Luxury, and it is a fingering weight sweater, but I have ideas for this for the fall. So it is, I love this sweater, and it's nice and swingy. It looks adorable with shorts as well as with jeans, and it just is a super, super nice sweater to knit. It's top down. There's some short rows to work, and this really pretty edging, which kind of looks like this edging. Did I do the same? I don't know. Whatever. I'm a stickler for edgings, like the little bitty details. I love the little details. So this is called the Lovely Tee. It's available at my Ravelry shop, and soon will be available on my website, knitarainbow.com. Fresca break. Okay. I knit this 2 summers ago. One of my favorites, and Jamie Hoffman of Knitosophy is one of my favorite designers. This is in sock weight yarn, and this is the V-back tee. I knit this in 1 week. I absolutely loved this sweater. I wore it all the time, and I will stick a picture of myself wearing all of these sweaters that I show you. You can see how I've styled them. This sweater looks amazing, again, with jeans and flip-flops. It looks great a little bit dressed up with white slacks and pretty sandals. I always wear it with the V in front, but you absolutely can wear it with the V in the back. I love this sweater. I knit it with Machete Shop in her sock yarn, and I loved this. So this is a wonderful sweater to wear. Nice and thin in sock weight yarn. So it, I just love it. V-back tee by Jamie Hoffman. The next tee, I'm actually gonna make another one. We, at the knit store, we got yarn in, the slub yarn, last summer. And we were thinking, what in the world are we going to show? Like, how to knit with it? What are we going to do? And I had seen the Ranunculus Sweater. A lot of people have knit it. In fact, I want to knit one in a solid color, just in wool. And so I went home and I made the Ranunculus Sweater. And boy, did it take off in the shop. People loved this sweater. It's very quick to do, quick to knit. This one is knit in slub yarn and fingering yarn held together. That's how you get this really, really cool color. It's knit in Hello Stella yarn, and I absolutely loved knitting this. This is a very, very quick knit. Another thing about summer knits is you're not knitting sleeves. So once you're done, you're done. It's very, very quick. Also, I wanted to show one last little trick. When I will eventually get tags done for myself, but when I'm knitting and when I am blocking, I always stick just a little bit of yarn in the back here. I just find a stitch and just put a little piece of yarn, so I know that this is the back. It's just one little trick that I do. It doesn't feel like a tag. It's easy to hide, and it's just tells me that this is the back, so that when I'm rushing and getting ready, or when I'm taking it out to block it, I know that this is the back. So that's my little trick. So the Ranunculus Sweater, this one is super fun to wear. It's very cool, and I just love it. I loved this one. I haven't worn this in a while. So that's what I have for you this week. Next week, or next podcast, I'm going to continue with my summer knits series. I have lots and lots of summer knits because they're quick, they're easy, and I absolutely love it. So I hope that you dig into your stash and you get inspired by some of these. Once again, I think if you go and look on my Instagram, I'm going to have a giveaway. I'm very excited. Oh, I have one more thing. I received a gift. I can't believe it. So there's a customer, Marlena, and what a sweet, sweet person. I've always enjoyed helping her. She actually sent me a gift. I am absolutely shocked, but let me show you what she sent me. So she sent me, in the last podcast, I held up a shawl that I was making, the Rainbow Mountain shawl, and I used mohair from Art Yarns. I wasn't actually able to finish that shawl, so I am going to knit another one in the yarn that was actually called for in the pattern, and that is this Art Yarns Merino Cloud. And Marlena actually gifted me 2 skeins. Isn't that pretty? So I think that would be a really pretty thing to do. And then, who doesn't like getting gifts, especially during this stressful time, right? She sent me a Hohi bag. I am shocked. So it's the one that has this really cool pocket in the front, and it has one on the inside, and great for carrying your, oh look, it matches me. Sparkly pink and happy. So thank you so much, Marlena. You made my week, and I really appreciated it. So once again, I am so excited to be here. I'm so excited to share my love of knitting. There are some videos on my channel that show techniques, and let me know if you want to see more technique videos, and write in the comments what you're working on. I have loved hearing reading the comments and answering the comments this week. It really made my week so much fun with all the yuck that's going on. So have a wonderful couple weeks. I will see you next time. And when life is hard and days are gray, knit a rainbow. Thanks, everybody.